To the biggest economic story in our country. December capped off the best year for employment gains since 1999, well before the financial crisis. Is the data enough to convince the Fed it's time to raise rates? And if not, what is the recipe? What are the ingredients for a rate hike cake? And what are we currently missing? Here to break down our panel, our star panel, Austan Goolsbee, University of Chicago Booth School professor, former chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, Michelle Girard, RBS Securities managing director and senior economist, and Peter Kenny, Clearpool chief market strategist. Right off the bat, Michelle, I'll begin with you as that RBS chief senior economist. What do you think is the recipe and what might be missing at this point for the Fed to simply say, let's raise rates?
Well, what's missing is evidence that progress is being made not only on the inflation front, but also, not only on the employment front, but also on the inflation front. We've seen the labor market strengthen. We've seen the unemployment rate come down to levels that the Fed has indicated it needs to see before hiking interest rates. What isn't happening is inflation moving back up toward its 2% target. And in fact, the earnings figures this morning were very disappointing, an outright decline in average hourly earnings, the year-over-year rate falling. I mean, the inflation numbers are moving in the wrong direction. I think that's the factor that continues to puzzle the Fed and I think is what could ultimately end up delaying a bit the beginning of policy normalization.
Austan, inflation. It's an interesting thing. It means that the ability for prices to rise. Some people would say, I don't want to see rising prices, but when you don't have rising prices, you have people waiting to see if they'll drop further. They don't buy things and we don't have a healthier economy, correct? What do you think are the recipe ingredients that we need to see before the Fed will pull that rate hike trigger?
Okay, first of all, if I made a cake for you, you do not want to be eating it. So I don't know, you want to ask me about a recipe. I think Michelle was exactly right that we've had a strong year for employment, but we haven't seen much progress on trying to get even very modest inflation. People say, well, I don't want the price of anything to go up, but if you get in a deflationary environment where the people who owe debts are having to pay back greater and greater shares of their income on that debt, you see in Europe and you see in other places where you're in that kind of environment, it's actually very unhealthy. I think the recipe that's needed, the Fed is on path to start tightening. They just don't want to go too fast. And they want to convince themselves, A, that we are truly in the free and clear of the U.S., and B, that China and Europe are not going to blow up in our face.
Well, with a cup of employment sugar, we've got a certain double cup of what's really been good, and that's the stock market, Peter Kenny. That's your bailiwick, isn't it? The markets look healthy enough, certainly, but do you think that's enough for the Fed to look at and say, well, now we've gotten people out of less risky assets and into equities at this point. Where would you be investing knowing that rates will be tightening eventually?
Well, clearly we had a fairly decent year last year, given the fact that, we've had several years where we've seen strong double-digit gains for the broad indexes. Last year we saw that again. This year we started off with a lot of volatility, and of course it's being driven by many of these themes. Today the market's down again, but it's recovered from its lows of the session. Clearly, low interest rates, improving consumer confidence, most every major data point is pointing towards continued improvement in the economy. And the one area of the economy that has been a bit of a laggard has been home building, single-family home building. I suspect that area will be an area of strength for the market, a sector of strength for the
you would say go into those areas.
I love that sector of the economy in that market.
Okay, and we've got your home builder picks right here, which are some exchange-traded funds. And you've got to believe, I don't know if you can see this, Michelle, but if Peter Kenny can afford these very fancy tortoiseshell glasses, consumer spending is possibly doing pretty well. Isn't consumer spending a crucial aspect here?
Oh, well, it's so crucial. I mean, obviously, it's, 70% plus of the U.S. economy. And I think you're exactly right. That's what's really shown a real step up in terms of the strength of growth in the last couple of months. We had a great holiday shopping season, and I think the stage is set for continued strong consumer spending. I mean, gasoline prices, of course, helping. But even away from that, these stronger employment numbers, the stronger income growth that contributes to that, obviously. All of that has made us very upbeat about the consumer sector going to 2015, even before we had the icing on the cake of these lower prices.
Okay, so we're keeping with the cake theme, but Austin, I always ask you, what is that one black swan? We've got 10 seconds. Your black swan, then I'll ask Peter Kenny.
Well, I'd say there are two. On the U.S. side, we're doing well, but I think pitching our whole hat back to consumers are going to start spending a lot of money and we're going to start building houses again is not necessarily the sustainable approach that we would want. But I still think Europe and China remain the black flies in the cake, or however you want to think of it. There's a big danger of poison in the cake.
Okay, Peter, so quickly, one black swan.
One black swan. Deflation.
Deflation. That's prices dropping. Listen, it's great to have all of you. Thank you so much. Austin Goolsbee, Michelle Girard, and Peter Kenny.